Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex. And now lately we've been talking a lot about Null, about comic card crafting and all this sort of high-end endgame player stuff and whale player stuff. So I decided to throw it back and I wanted to make a brand new list for the top 10 free-to-play characters in Marvel Future Fight. But then I stopped and I was like, yo, what is a free-to-play character? Because there's lots of different ways to define that. So I'm going to make it really simple. A free-to-play character does not require any crystals whatsoever. So all characters that you have to purchase for crystals up front, like Odin, Dormammu, are gone. All characters that you need to buy a uniform for are gone. But then I was like, okay, but then like you could say Sentry is the best free-to-play character because, you know, you don't need crystals to buy Sentry. But yeah, the Epic Quest is not really, it doesn't really constitute free-to-play friendly in that sense. Free-to-play friendly, when you think of free-to-play friendly, it's something that's easy. And it's something that is not going to take a ton of different steps, and it's something that's not going to cost a lot, right? It's basically something that all players, whether they're brand new or they've been playing the game for a long time, and regardless of how much money they've spent, they can start acquiring these characters. You're not going to be able to get them in one day necessarily, like in one snap, but you'll be able to get there in a month or less for the most part. And you'll be able to build up those characters. So this is really what I wanted to focus on here. Now, obviously, some characters will still be good or somewhat good without a uniform if you get them to tier 3, but I want to focus on the absolute best and also the most accessible. There is a tiny bit of RNG for a couple of the characters on this list, and I'll explain what it is, but it's not as bad as something like the Dimension Mission Shifter bios, where you're really hoping to get Luna Snow, for example, and that's free to play. It's not really how it works, but there are a couple of characters that are similar to that, but not quite as bad. So just a quick shout out before we start, although they do require uniforms: Ghost Rider, Black Widow, Venom, and Starlord. If you haven't already gotten these characters, they're very, very good. They all need to be tier 3. They all need to get their new uniforms, which is why they're not on this list, but they're all really good for different content. Starlord probably being the weakest of the 4, but he unlocks Beta Ray Bill and finishes that Epic Quest, which is amazing. So you're going to need to build him up eventually if you want to get the coveted Horseface Beta Ray Bill. So coming in for me at number 10 is actually 2 characters, not just one. It's 2 characters, and it is the dual support of Colson and Shuri. Sure, you can buy their uniforms, but they're 100% non-necessary. All you need to do is get these characters to tier 2 to unlock, in his case, Director's Orders, which is one of the best passives in the game as a buff, and it applies to all hero allies. Still one of the best in the game and completely free-to-play friendly. And then for Shuri, hers applies to all allies, regardless of whether they're heroes or villains. Again, amazing, not only for PvE content, but it also works in PvP content. Sure, her uniform makes her tier 2 passive a little bit better, but you don't really need it. So yeah, if you haven't already focused on getting Colson and Shuri, you absolutely should. But another thing I realized was that I didn't want to suggest too many characters when I was making this list. We're only at number 10 right now, but I realized I didn't want to suggest too many characters in the support shop, in the Dimension Mission Rift Token shop, because I always tell you guys to spend your Rift Tokens on comic cards. So Colson's going to be the only one that you can only acquire there in the token shop. Okay, I don't want to commit that sin too many times of telling you guys, hey, spend your tokens here and here, because I know you can't do both. It's pretty much impossible. Coming in at number 9, this is a bit of a soft choice here, but Morgan Le Fay I think is a little bit slept on still. Every time I start a free-to-play account, she's one of the characters that I try to unlock as soon as possible with biometric selectors, because she's just really good. All defense down, revive, healing, mind control, clones. She basically has all of the effects. And I think, honestly, the devs should look at making Morgan Le Fay sort of like an intro character like Sharon Rogers, because she teaches you so much about the game, and she's a villain. She just teaches you all these different game mechanics that you're not going to be able to get from other characters. She teaches you about refreshing skills with a refreshing cooldown because of her Transcendence passive. So she just has a lot of really cool effects, and she's strong, and she's easy to play. Obviously, she falls off in the mid to late game hard, but for new players, she's basically easy mode, and she can tackle World Boss, she can tackle Shadowland, and she can, honestly, if you got some weak teams in PvP, she can tackle them, because she might die once, but then she starts getting that mind control up, she starts getting she starts popping off with the heals and stuff, she's not going to die twice. So I honestly still like Morgan Le Fay for a top 10 list. RIP to Iron Hammer, he's not on this list, he goes bye-bye. Number 8 is a little bit contentious. I know this one. I'm going to recommend Rachel Summers. Now, Rachel Summers, you can only get her in the, you can't get her in the Rachel Summers special training. They need to update this. You can only get her in Danger Room once you get enough tier 3s. So remember what I said, free to play friendly. it can apply to all players, whether you've spent money or not, and whether you're new or not. So if you're new, you can't necessarily get Rachel Summers, because obviously you can't get, you know, the daily. Oh, you know what? Oh, dang. You can still get her. True. Okay, so new players can get Rachel Summers and Professor X. Well, spoiler alert, Professor X is also on this list. Anyways, this is the only way to get this character. So I recognize that it is by chance, but the thing is, with the new event quests where you can get rank up tickets and mega tier 2 tickets, all you have to do is get 10 bios of these characters and then get a 2-star ticket, or get 20 bios and then you're free to go. So you just got to get those rank up tickets, get the mega tier 2 ticket, and you're gone. Rachel Summers in this case is a very good striker for world boss content. She's not bad herself as a character, but she's just so clutch at making other characters really good for world boss. So if you need help, if you're trying to keep other characters alive for world boss and you're having trouble with that, and you have Rachel Summers sitting at like 3 stars, 4 stars, and you have the rank up tickets or whatever to take her to tier 2, I would honestly say, you know what, you should strongly consider it. She's not the best character standalone because of her cooldowns, kind of awkward, 20 seconds here, you know, 16 seconds here, etc. But she has a really good fourth skill that she uses as a striker, and it's really good because it's mind control and damage decrease, but the all defense down doesn't apply, so it doesn't interfere with your abilities. And she's still good for PvE like Shadowland content because she has the Phoenix Force passive, like the other character on this list coming up soon. So that's my number 8. It might make a little, it might, you know, be a little bit of a, you know, prickly suggestion for some players, but I still think it's a good one. Coming in at number 8, we have, oh sorry, Rachel Summers was number 8. Coming in at number 7 is Scorpion. I think a lot of people slept on Scorpion. Really good speed villain, really easy to play, and just like tanky. He's got healing, he's got all defense down, he's got immunity. He's just good, man. 80% all defense, 4 seconds of immunity, minus 55, and just the poison damage looks sick. He's got a guard hit, he's got paralysis, which ignores immunity. It's a super easy combo. You hold 4, and then you go into 5, and then 3, and then 5, or 5 and then 3. It doesn't really matter. Super easy combo, super satisfying character, really slick animations, and really accessible. Just getting those bioselections, excuse me, to unlock him and get going. And you know, villain characters are still pretty premium in this game. So having a good speed character, a good speed villain that doesn't need a uniform is huge. A lot of other speed villains in the game, you know, Bullseye, Dr. Octopus, they all need Gwenom, they all need uniforms. He doesn't. So for that, he gets major points with me. Coming in at number 6, we got Kid Omega. Again, super underrated character, the only good mind damage leadership in the game. Really easy to play. He's got mind control, he's got accumulation, he's got self buffs, he's got iframes, he's got it all. There's his accumulation right there. His accumulation's nice, 5% attack for each 1% of damage. So he gives himself a 50% attack buff if he takes a few hits. Cool character. He's got cool decreased character size stuff like Ant-Man. So you got some little, you know, animations to play with on your enemies as well. And yeah, I think he's a solid character. And yeah, he's a little bit, you know, he can be a little bit tricky to get with Danger Room. You got to get a little bit lucky, but you'll unlock him a lot faster than you will while you're going for Rachel Summers or Professor X. So it's kind of a 2-for-1, right? You're going for Rachel Summers or Professor X. You get Kid Omega bios. That's a win. That's not a loss by any means, right? And you can obviously get him from the daily chests as well as the weekly chests. The weekly chest, you hit the jackpot, you get 100, 200 bios of Kid Omega. You're laughing. You're halfway there to building him up to 6 stars. Coming in top 5, now we have the former, what was it called? Shield Academy reward, Shadow Shell. Very good character still for free-to-plays. She's the only other character besides Sharon Rogers that has the coveted 15% attack accumulation. You have to take the damage. You can't, it's not damage dealt, it's damage taken. So it can be a little bit tricky to learn how to play her optimally, kind of like Sharon Rogers. But when you get it to work, she claps. And like Scorpion, she deals poison damage. So I guess this list has, you know, 20% poison damage on it if 2 out of 10 characters deal poison damage. That's kind of weird to say in 2021, but hey, there you go. She also has skill refresh, and she has damage reduction, and she has some synergy. She has 30% guaranteed dodge. She's kind of tanky. And she has synergy with the rest of the Warriors of the Sky if you ever decide to build them up. War Tagger was pretty close to making this list, so honestly, I think she's a solid character, and she'll serve you. She'll even serve you in late game content, not necessarily as an amazing character, but if you transcend her, you can use her in the story mode and other content. She's honestly not bad at all, and they're basically just waiting to get uniforms, and then the Warriors of the Sky will be back up there in the meta or close to it. Now we're getting close to the top 3 with number 4. We have another villain here, Scream. Really good damage. Not the best survivability, but it doesn't matter if you kill the enemy. And a very, very rare tag. Female combat villain. You're not necessarily going to need that for a ton of different content, but she's going to fill in your combat content. She's going to fill in your female content, and she can also fill in for your villain content. So that can go for, you know, Shadowland, Squad Battle, and ABX. If you want to just play those game modes to get a few rewards here and there, you're not necessarily going for top marks, but Scream is going to hit hard enough with her skills, invincibility, really nice 50-50 self buff. How many times do you see a 50-50 self buff on a free character? Yeah, very little. That's a better buff than like Moonstone. So really nice buffs, all defense down, easy to play, a little bit squishy, yeah, but if you get enough cooldown on your cards, she's usable. You know, she's more than functional, and she hits like an absolute truck for a free bioselector character. Coming into the top 3 now, we have the best characters. These characters will serve you, the best characters on this list, but these characters are honestly very close to the meta in the end game for basically all characters. Number 3, you know, top 3, Dr. Voodoo easily could be number 2 here. Not outstanding as a character, as a standalone character. He's not going to do very much for you, but it's really the leadership. He unlocks the potential of so many characters in World Boss, so many combos, so many, you know, one-shots would not be possible without a character like Dr. Voodoo. And he's 100% free. And you compare him to the other 2 characters, Enchantress, and you need to buy her uniform, or White Fox. So the price on this leadership is so much cheaper with him versus anyone else that is bonkers. And for that alone, he deserves to be top 3. I still use him whenever I want to one-shot a stage 99 or just, you know, crash, you know, smash it in a minute or whatever with Thor, because you need that debuff to rack up the all resist down, to rack up the all defense down, and to basically just crush your enemies. And who knows, future content might make him even more valuable, right? As long as debuffs are available, a leadership that it can increase their potency is always going to have value. So again, if you haven't started working on him, what are you doing? Number 2 here, you know who I'm gonna pick. Ben, the clone. Ben Reilly, Scarlet Spider. Amazing standalone character. Doesn't have a good leadership. Basically the exact opposite of Dr. Voodoo. He is gonna be doing the one-shotting, not Dr. Voodoo, but he's amazing for World Boss to one-shot multiple World Bosses, stage 50, stage 60, and he is basically a requirement for Shadowland stage 32, where you have to use a Spider-Verse character. All of the other Spider Sense characters are either more expensive or worse, or both. You have Arachnite, who costs crystals. You got Spider-Man 2099, who either costs real money or you need crystals for his uniform anyways. Peter Parker needs crystals for his uniform. Dr. Octopus, right? There's just nothing, there's nothing cheaper, and they're all worse than him. So why would you do that anyway? So every account should have a tier 2 Scarlet Spider, honestly. He's just fantastic, and he looks sick, and he drops a tank on his enemies. Like, what more do you want? Last but not least, I know I'm going to get a little bit of flack for this because you have to get him from the Danger Room, but basically, I'm just trying to motivate you, if you haven't been playing Danger Room, to get him, because he's very, very good, and he's very, very good. He competes with characters who need uniforms, right? This is the thing, Professor X. I know you got to get him in the Danger Room. I know Danger Room is not the most fun content, but I didn't even realize. I thought it was only Danger Room Extreme. You can get Professor X in the daily rewards from normal Danger Room. And then once you work up to getting enough tier 3 characters that you can play Extreme, then you can play Extreme and you get 5 chances a day to get bios for him. And then, of course, as long as you can hit Platinum or higher, you have a chance every week of opening the chest at the end of the week to get him. So you have, 36 chances, basically 36 chances a week, right? You have 5 chances a day, and then multiply by 7, and then you have 1 extra chance at the end of the week. And all it takes, right? All it takes is a couple of platinum chests, or a few platinum chests, or a couple of vibranium chests if you can climb a little bit higher. Obviously, playing alone is hell. It's awful. You can see my win rate is not even that good, 9-1. Well, it's pretty good, but play with your alliance mates, whatever. Trust me, you will not regret building Rachel Summers and Professor X. And if you get, Angel, Bishop, Kid Omega bios, Gambit bios, now that he has a uniform, if you get those in the meantime, that's not bad at all either, right? Really, fantastic character, a fantastic character. At tier 2, he can do stage 99, which is crazy. And he is technically free, and you don't need to buy a uniform for him because there is no uniform. So no crystals involved, just good old-fashioned grinding and a little bit of luck. So with that, I wish you luck. I hope everybody can unlock Professor X ASAP. Honestly, maybe the devs should do... I hate suggesting things that never get taken up by the devs, but maybe they should have events. Like every time there's an X-Men update or a mutant update, they do like a double rewards drop on the Danger Room stuff for like 3 days or for a week. And so whatever daily rewards you get, 10 bios is 20 bios instead. So instead of getting 2 bios or 1 bio frame, you'd get 2. Instead of getting 2, you'd get 4 or whatever. That would incentivize people to play Danger Room. It would hype up the Danger Room packs when they come back. And it would also increase the number of players playing to decrease the queue times and stuff like that. Anyways, just a thought. Just a thought that I had there. So yeah, let me know what you guys think of the top 10 free-to-play characters list. Free-to-play characters list. I think I was fair and sensible, logical with the criteria. But yeah, let me know what you think of the criteria and what you think of maybe number 1 and number 8 and the rest. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.